You're sitting across from someone in a small meeting room, door closed, laptop shut. You finish explaining your concern and stop talking. They nod slowly, not rushed, not distracted. They say, "I get it." You feel the tension leave your shoulders. You lean back. That part at least feels handled. Before the conversation ends, they glance at the clock and say they'll take it from here. You don't realize that something has already been decided. For the next minute, the tone stays calm. They summarize what you said, almost word for word. They don't disagree, they don't push back, they don't add much of their own. You leave the room thinking the hard part is over. You felt heard, understood. That felt like progress. What you don't see is how that nod gets interpreted once you're gone. Later that afternoon, a follow-up email goes out. It thanks you for raising the issue. It says they understand the concern. Then it outlines a path forward that doesn't change anything. The language is careful, polite, final. Your input has been acknowledged and quietly contained. You reread it, trying to work out when the direction was set. You remember the nod, the calm voice, the way they didn't interrupt you. You took that as alignment. On their side, it was closure. The same thing happens in a different setting, a personal conversation this time. You explain how something affected you. The other person listens closely. They don't argue. They don't defend themselves. They say, "I hear you." You feel relief. You drop the thread. Later, their behavior doesn't change. When you bring it up again, they're surprised. They thought the conversation had resolved it. In both cases, the moment you felt understood was the moment the other person stopped engaging. Listening without resistance can feel like agreement, but it can also be a way of deciding the conversation is complete. What's easy to miss is the signal you send when you relax too early, when you stop adding weight, when you treat understanding as the same thing as movement. The other person reads that shift immediately, not as trust, but as permission to proceed unchanged. The harm doesn't come from what they said. It comes from what your calm acceptance allowed them to assume. You trusted the feeling of being understood because you value clarity and composure. You believe that if someone really hears you, the situation is still open. That belief usually works, until the moment it doesn't. Because the instant you felt understood was the instant they decided there was nothing left to discuss. And your confidence in reading that moment is exactly what removed you from what happened next.